So let's continue from power resources. So power resources. So what is the meaning of power resources? Means the resources that are necessary for generating of energy is called as power resources. They may ask for 1 marks. Don't forget to read this. For 1 marks, what is power resources? Then it is, as you know, power resources is important for economic growth and living of people, and it is mainly used in industry, agriculture, communication, and in other places it is used. So the main power resources are also power resources are of two types. The natural power resources are of two types. They are conventional and non-conventional power resources. So conventional resources are the coal, petroleum, diesel. These resources are stable. Which is stable. They are conventional resources, and the non-conventional power resources are solar power, hydro, wind power, etc. are the non-conventional power resources. As India needs these resources mainly. So let's first know about coal. So it is a fuel resources of plant origin. So it is largely made of carbon. Coal is made of carbon. So vegetative manners which are buried in past has vegetative manners that are buried in past has buried in past has changed into coal. So the vegetative manners that are buried in past, now it has changed into coal due to the pressure and temperature in the crust. So what are the importance of coal resources? So India produces 67% of coal in the whole world, as well as it produces many byproducts of coal like sulfur, coal gas, benzoil, and other things it produces. And it is also used as raw material in many chemical industries. They use coal as raw material. As well as next is the distribution of coal, means where we can find the coal is. We can find coal in Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, and West Bengal in some places of these states. And these states produce 96% of the coal for the country. As well, India is the third biggest country that produces coal, and in Assam, Meghalaya, and other places also little bit less coal is produced than these two large places. So next, after going to coal, let's come to the petroleum. So petroleum is an oil which is composed by hydrocarbons. As you know, it is an important fuel as you daily use in your vehicles, and are used in raw material in some chemical industries. So petroleum is used as raw material in some petrochemical industries that produces synthetic fiber and fertilizer soap that produces petrochemical industry that produces synthetic fiber, fertilizers, synthetic rubbers, and other things which petrochemical industry produce. In that, petroleum is used. And the distribution of petroleum. So where we can find is, we can find petroleum in Bombay High and Gujarat, and in Tamil Nadu. Sorry, here. 1 minute. Tamil Nadu we can find in Tamil Nadu, and in Andhra Pradesh, and in Mumbai we can find. And a oil called crude oil is produced by some industries, and India is the second largest country to produce the crude oil. And the petroleum was first discovered in Assam, in Makam, a place called Makam in Assam. In that place the petroleum was first discovered, and now we can see in Tipo, in Haral, and in some other places we can see the petroleum industries. And India is not produces that much petrol, but it produces a large quantity of petrol to fulfill the requirements. So it tries to produce the large quantity of petrol to fulfill the requirements of the people, and to it may fulfill the industrial requirements also. And as well as next topic is hydroelectricity. As you know, the electricity for the mass 1 marks, what is hydroelectricity? So hydroelectricity, the electricity produced by falling of water, is called as hydroelectricity. As you know, we can renew it, we can make it again, and it is less cheaper. We can do it in less cost. We can make the hydro power station. And India does not have more fossil fuels like coal, petroleum, and other fossil fuels to produce more electricity. So there is So that is important for develop hydroelectricity. So the first hydroelectricity plant was established in Darjeeling in West Bengal. It was established in 1897. But the really first hydroelectricity plant was established in Shivanasamudri in Karnataka in 1902. So let's know about important hydroelectricity plants. So in Karnataka, Shivanasamudra, Shimla, and Linganamaki, Sharavati, Bhadra, and other are the places of hydroelectricity power stations or power plants we can see. Next in Tamil Nadu we can see in Metro, Metaro, we can say it Metaro, and in Periyar, and in Mayor, and in Kandesh, and in Solapur, and in other places we can see the hydroelectric power plants in Tamil Nadu, and in Maharashtra, Kopali, Bandra, Hola, and in other places we can see these hydroelectricity power stations, and in Odisha, Hirakud, Bhimkud, and Regalia, and in other places also we can see these hydroelectricity power stations. And in Andhra Pradesh we can see Srishaila, Ramapadanagar, and in other places we can see the hydroelectric power station in Tamil Nadu, in Andhra Pradesh. And next is Telangana. In Telangana we can see in Nizam Sagar, Nagarjuna Sagar, and in other places we can see the hydroelectric power stations. And in Kerala, Idiki, Sabarki, and other places we can see the hydroelectric power stations in Kerala. And we can see more hydroelectric power stations in Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, and wait, Gujarat, and we can see in Gujarat, and in other Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, and Gujarat. In other places we can see the hydroelectric power stations. And your next topic is the nuclear power station. So the nuclear power. So the energy, what is nuclear power means? The energy that is generated by atomic minerals is called as nuclear power. And in India, the demand of nuclear power has increased in recent days. Anyway, the production of power is not enough. It is not enough to meet the requirements. So it is not enough to meet the requirements of the people. The much power we are producing from the nuclear, it is not enough. And India has large reserves. India has large reserves of atomic minerals. For example, uranium, by which we can produce uranium and some other things by which we can produce nuclear power. So the first nuclear power plant was set up in Tarapur. It was set up in Tarapur in 1969. In 1969, and now there are seven. Now there are seven nuclear power plants. So let's know which are the seven nuclear power plants. So first is Tarapur near Mumbai in Maharashtra. After that, Rana Pratap Sagar near Kota in Rajasthan. Afterwards, Kaipakam near Chennai in Tamil Nadu. Aurora near sorry, Narora, near a place called Narora in Uttar Pradesh. In Uttar Pradesh. Afterwards, Kakrapara in Gujarat. Afterwards, Kaiga near Karwar in Karnataka. Kundal Kullam in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu. So these are the sorry, one minute. Kundal Kullam. So Kundal Kullam is the nuclear power station in Tamil Nadu. So these they may ask to write about some write 7 nuclear power station they may have for 2 to 3 marks. So don't forget to read this. Topic is need of non-conventional resources. Why we need? So let's know about that. Non-conventional resources. Why we need that? In India, non-conventional power resources, non-conventional power resources are found abundant. Means we have found many abundant. We can found in a huge manner in India, and they are renewable. We can produce it again and eco-friendly. It is eco-friendly and it does not do pollution. It does not cause pollution. And we can send it to rural and we can send that power resources to rural as well as urban also. And in current year, energy consumption has increased. Energy consumption has increased. So India need to make power resources fastly. India need to make power resources fastly. Energy crisis. So energy crisis, it is one of the problem during these days. Energy crisis is one of the problem during these days. There is a great demand of energy, for energy, but the production of energy is not sufficient. In India. Energy is not sufficient in India. There is production less. This causes the energy crisis in India. As well as, so it has adverse effect. It has bad adverse effect on industry, agriculture. It put a bad effect on industry, agriculture, and many other fields. What are the reasons for energy crisis? Let's know about the reasons for energy crisis. So what are the reasons? One is managing of deposits and shortage of petroleum. So managing of deposit and shortage of petroleum is also one of the reason for the energy crisis. As poor quality of coal is also another problem for energy crisis. energy, less rainfall. So less rainfall and shortage of water for hydroelectricity. So as you learned in hydroelectricity, they need waterfall, but because of less rain, they are not getting the more water, and they are getting problem to produce electricity. Loss of power in the process of transmission. So in the process of transmission, the power is getting lost. In doing that thing, the power is getting down. Transmission, as well as limited use of conventional energy. So as you know, conventional energy like coal, petroleum, we are using in limit. So because of that is also we are getting energy crisis. These are the reasons they may ask some questions. So next is the last is remedies. What are the measures we should take to solve the energy crisis? Or first remedy is increase the production of coal and petroleum. So we should increase the production of coal and petroleum, as well as step to be taken step to be taken taken to have substitutes. So we should take some steps so that we can get some substitutes of coal and oil. We can get some substitutes. Maybe we can get some substitute of coal and oil that produces more energy. We have to find all that. Importance should be given to increase the importance should be given to increase the water water power generation. So importance should be given water power generation, and we should use non-conventional resources more. Use non-conventional resources like solar energy and hydroelectric stations and wind energy, and you should use non-conventional resources more. So these are the remedies that we can take to decrease the energy crisis. So here your chapter ends. So I think you understand this chapter. So if you have any doubt, put it on comment.